My name is Madeline. Welcome to the Living Epistle Project. Today I have with me Living Epistle LuLu.
Hi.
Hi Lulu. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful day.
It is.
It's
really
quite
nice.
beautiful. We are here at Central Park. We are enjoying the birds and the water, which is very peaceful. So we're gonna have a glimpse. We're gonna have a glimpse of what is going on in Lulu's life, specifically what Jesus is doing in Lulu's life. I am surrounded by amazing friends, and Lulu is one of my friends, and I get to see Living Epistle every day in my life. And today, Lulu, the first question I would like to ask you is, in your own words, who would you say Lulu is?
In my own words, Lulu is many things. She's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a friend. What she mainly is a work in progress, though. She's not finished by any means. She's not perfect. She's still going through life, trying to figure things out, trying to become the person that God wants her to be.
Right.
I'd say she's just a work in progress, and she's a unfinished story.
I like
Is
that.
what she is.
I like that. And that's
Yeah.
what we are, The Lord is continually writing new chapters in our lives. And it would be not realistic if we say we know our story yet. But
That's
what
true.
we know is that God is writing a story
Right.
with our
Yeah.
lives. Okay, so we have Lulu. We have an idea of who Lulu is. Who is Jesus to you?
Jesus to me is my everything, both literally and figuratively. I would say. He's my creator. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And without him, I wouldn't be saved. I wouldn't be who I am today. The air that I breathe, the world that I live in. Every time I wake up in the morning, when I go outside, I see the skies, I see the trees, the birds, I see everyone around me, and I know that we're all a product, or we're all a creation of Jesus. We're all here for a reason. We are all stories waiting to be told.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Pretty neat. So we know who Lulu is, a little bit of who Lulu is, and we also know who Jesus is to you. But I want to get more into your background. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? Like, what do you do for a living, and where are you
Sure.
from, and what is Lulu about?
Well, I'm originally from the Bahamas. My parents are of Haitian descent. I moved to the U.S. when I was 15, and I'm a lawyer currently. I am working for myself. The last child of my parents, so I'm the one who's, believe it or not, a lot of responsibility has fallen on me. I'm the last child. It really shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. And it's a challenge. It can be a challenge sometimes, but I take it on, and I'm just really thankful to the Lord that He's with me and He's taking care of me and helping me through it.
Right. I like that. It's like Joseph, right? You know the story of Joseph?
Yeah.
You would not think that Joseph would be the one God is putting on top.
Yeah.
Like you the baby of the family, and God is saying, forget about the oldest one. I have my own plan for them, but I'm going to elevate Lulu for my own purpose, and I'm going to make her a leader for the family that she have birthed her into. That is pretty interesting. I love that you are recognizing that Jesus is really giving you responsibility and is actually having a purpose for you in your family.
Yeah,
I love
it can be really challenging sometimes, and I can get really upset about it sometimes because I feel like as the last child, I shouldn't really have this responsibility, and I should be the one living my life while everyone is taking care of these responsibilities.
Right.
But the story of Joseph it really speaks to me in that regard, and I know that the Lord has a plan for me, has a purpose for me. He's given me these abilities to be the one to take care of my family, be the one to be the support to my friends and everything. And I'm really thankful that He's put me in this position to be the one to do that.
Pretty neat. Okay. How did you meet Jesus, Lulu?
How did I meet Jesus? I came from a household that was always going to church.
Okay.
Living in the Bahamas, it's a Christian country, so we took religious studies at school. So I knew the Bible, I knew the Bible stories, I knew of Jesus. I went to church constantly, but I didn't really feel it being something that was real to me in my heart.
Right.
I had book knowledge of it, but I didn't really have a experience in for myself with it. And I think when I came here to the U.S., the last 2 years of high school, 11th and 12th grade, I did share. I was really going through a very depressive time in my life.
I see our friends are trying to get into the conversation, but go ahead.
I went through a very depressing time in my life, and I was suffering from severe depression. And even recently, I used to keep journals. I looked through these journals, and I was reading what I wrote at the time, and I'm just amazed and astounded that I've come so far in my life right now from that place.
Right.
And during that time, I was still going to Catholic church, and I was going through the process to get confirmation, which is the process after communion. And I go to church regularly, but I didn't really feel the way I knew I should feel because I was suffering from this severe depression. And I knew that there must be some truth to this Jesus thing that I keep hearing about from everyone. And I knew that, everyone says, if you believe in Jesus, you have this joy with you, with this joy within your heart. And I wasn't feeling this joy, and I just really wanted to know why that was. And I made the decision to leave the Catholic Church because I felt like it really wasn't feeding me the way I was supposed to be fed. And it was a journey that I took on my own by reading the Bible and giving myself over to Christ and really committing to it. Mm-hmm. And also trying to establish this relationship with God that I never had before. And it became something that was real to me, and I made the decision. I founded my own church. This was back in Florida before I came to New York for law school, and I went to a church of my own that I chose, and I was really happy with it, and the people really there were welcoming, and they really taught me the fellowship that, comes from being with other believers, and that to me helped really a lot in becoming one and establishing this relationship.
I think you touched on it, and you said that you were trying to figure out who is Jesus. What is this Jesus person that I'm hearing about? I want to experience him right for myself, and I gathered that you have experienced him and you are still following him.
Yes.
Why do you think Jesus is the person that you say, I'm going to commit my life to, and I'm going to make him the center of my life? Why Jesus?
Jesus to me because, as I was developing, as I was trying to seek this relationship that I've heard so much about, reading the Bible to me, everything just rang true.
Okay.
I've studied other religions. I've studied Hinduism. I've studied Buddhism, and those to me didn't ring true at all. Right. Jesus to me rang true, and when the Bible says He's the way, the truth, and the life, I firmly believe that. And I knew within my heart, my heart was seeking something, the truth, and it was calling out to Him. I didn't know what it was at the time. It was calling out to Him, and when I found Him, it just rang within me. It just resonated within me that this is the truth. This is what I've been searching for, and this is the person that I needed in my life.
This is my personal conviction that those who are seeking the truth, even if they don't know what the truth is, if they are truly seeking the truth, they will find the truth. Yeah. And you have said that Jesus has become the truth to you because you are seeking for something that your heart recognizes as the truth.
Yeah.
So now you know Jesus, you're like a Christian and you are living life. Mm-hmm. And we know that God called us and He make us with a purpose. Mm-hmm. And He also called us to be His hands and feet. Are you involved in any ministry? What would you say your ministry is? First, I'd like to know, what is your ministry? What do you think your ministry is? And what ministries are you involved in?
My ministry is service in any way or form.
Okay.
I love singing, but I cannot sing. And, no matter how much I prayed and wished for it, I always said that if I could sing, that's what I would spend my life doing. I wouldn't be a lawyer, I would be a singer, I'd join a choir, I'd be, gospel singer, praise and worship. But it's not my talent. I do not have that talent. The only talent I have are my hands, my feet, service to others. And right now I'm in BT Kids Ministry, it's the children's ministry at Brooklyn Tabernacle. And what we do is every Sunday we have a service for the children. We give a Bible story, we act it out to them, and we as well do a lesson revolving around the Bible story. I think that's very important. Children, of course, are our future.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like as you get them when they're young, to become familiar with Christ. It's their decision whether or not they give their lives to Christ.
Okay.
But they just need that positive, I guess, reinforcement and positive encouragement in their lives, as well to also combat the negative reinforcement that they get from the media, that they get when they go outside. They need they need that hope, that light, that beacon, to offer a contrast to the horrible things that they see every day. And I'm really thankful for the ministry. I'm thankful for the great things that they do for the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know, I think, I'm not quite sure which part of the Bible, but I know it's in the letters where it says suffering, trials produce hope. And it is through the suffering that God actually do what basically, it is through the suffering that God can produce a beautiful jewel in our lives. And you know that quite as well as I do, that when we come to the Lord, we go through certain trials and suffering in life. Can you tell us a little bit about one moment in your life where you went through a moment where it was so low and you thought you could not have made it, but you came out of it?
Well, that's actually one of my favorite verses. James 1-3
Oh, wow.
says, "Consider it pure joy when faced with trials of many kinds, because it causes your faith to grow and produces perseverance." And one trial in particular that I went through was during the second year of law school. Law school can be very trying.
I know.
It's really difficult, and you have many lows. I was going to say many highs and lows, but a lot of lows.
Oh, yeah. A lot. I remember.
And I was away from my family, living here in New York, there in Florida, and I remember receiving a phone call that from my brother saying that my mom was in the hospital. And her husband, who's not my father, her second husband, he stabbed her. And she was in critical condition. And I flipped out. I bought a ticket right away. I flew down to Florida, and I stayed there for a time with her, in and out of the hospital, visiting with her. She was in critical condition. She wasn't conscious. So, I spent a lot of hours at the hospital just sitting by her bedside, wondering how could this happen? Because and I still think he's a very nice person, very sweet person, very wonderful person. He was the last person I ever would have expected to do something like that. It was so surreal to me when I found out, because I said, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It sounded like it was a completely different person. I got to put my hands on the police report, and I found out the details, and I couldn't go back to the house because there was blood everywhere. And I stayed with my father, and it was a very trying time. It was very difficult for me. I couldn't stop crying. Thankfully, I had my friends and my family there to support me, and and I just prayed every single day that my mom would survive, that she'd just make it through this. I felt very close to the Lord at that time. I felt that He was with me, just holding me, comforting me, and I knew that, everything happens for a reason. There's always a plan, there's a purpose. God knows everything. He knows what's going to happen before it happens. He knows why it's happening, even though you may not understand why. And it was just a great lesson to me to put my trust in Him and know that He knows what's best for me and what's best for everyone. And I just kept saying to myself, just trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord. And, my mom, she woke up. I prayed for her healing, and she got much better. she cannot see out of one of her eyes.
Is that where?
Yeah, she got one of the blades left her in the eye. She can't see out of one of her. You look at her, you wouldn't be able to tell, but that she can only see out of one eye because it doesn't really seem that visible for you to see any injury.
Right.
And since then she hasn't been able to work because she's also hitting her spine. And before she used to do a lot of like housekeeping and stuff, that type of work, which can be very strenuous on your back and everything. So now she can't do that. She can't work. She can't stand for too long. So I'm the one who's taking care of her. And even despite all of that and difficulties it's brought me, because I'm the one who's taking care of her, I'm really thankful that she's still alive.
Right.
I'm thankful that God saved her and that God healed her. And also during that time, I learned to forgive the man who did this to my mother, because I was never angry with him. I couldn't understand why it happened. There was this big disconnect because I'm like, he's got this personality, he's this person, he's really nice and sweet. Yeah, he did this really horrible act, and I couldn't put the two together because to me that wasn't him. And he was in prison. He's been in jail. This happened in 2009. He's been in jail all this time. And after he serves his sentence, he's going to be deported back to Haiti. And, from then even till now, I still feel very sad about it. And I feel sad for him because I don't know what was going through his mind at the time. And I pray for him and I forgive him because, I don't see him as this act that he did. I still see him as the person that I knew him to be. And that to me and the learning the power of forgiveness is just a wonderful thing to me. And
you're a beautiful soul. You are a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
You're a beautiful soul. So, wow. I did not know this about you.
I don't talk about it a lot. I don't tell,
I did not
some
know
people
this
know
about you.
that my mom,
Wow.
she's got this disability, but they don't know the circumstances.
Wow.
And it's not something I really talk about that much, but
you're a beautiful soul. You're a beautiful soul, and I can see the character that God has done through that moment in your life. But I know with that moment, you said that you keep trusting the Lord for her healing, and you just keep praying, and you keep looking to the Lord for comfort. Was there a verse that you went through? Do you have a go-through verse that you go through whenever you're going through trials?
The verse that I told you earlier, that talks about you have to consider it, pure joy when you go through these struggles, when you go through these trials in your life, because it really helps your faith grow in the Lord. It really helps you to persevere and to mature as a Christian. And they talk about the Christian life being a life, one of struggle, one of pain, and one of sacrifice. And I find that to be true. If you're not serving the Lord, the devil's not going to come and hound you. You know what I mean? So when you're serving the Lord and you're doing right by Him, you're doing His will, you're going to have all these problems that come about. It's not an easy life, but it's a rewarding life, and it's a joyful life. And I've found that even when I go through my struggles and my pain, I'm just so thankful that the Lord remains faithful to me, and He's always been faithful to me. And I know that, I can always seek Him out. I may not get the answer that I want. I may not get the result that I want right away or ever, but I know He's working for me and for my good, because I love Him and He loves me. Yeah,
I love it. That's Women 828, right? Women 828. My favorite part, one of my favorite part of the questions is singing, because singing music is very dear to me. When I'm going through something in life, I run through a song. That's how I communicate to God. With my heart sings to Him and cry out the pain or whatever joy that I'm going through. Do you have a go-through song that you can share with us?
I like the song "Oh the Blood" by the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir.
I like it.
It's a great song. I was listening to it on the way here, and what I like about the song is it talks about the blood of Jesus and the sacrifice that He made for us and He made for us. And What I like about it is the visuals. I remember talking to a friend during law school about Christianity, and I mentioned the blood of Jesus, and she literally said to me, "Oh my gosh, you sound like one of those crazy persons on the train talking about the blood, the blood." And at first, I was taken aback by it because I'm like, she knows me. How could she say something like that to me? But then afterward, I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't mind being compared to one of those crazy persons on the train, because I'm a Jesus freak. I'm crazy for the Lord, Tell me I'm one of those crazy persons on the train to talk about, the blood. It's a very intense visual, and I think it's meant to be an intense visual. The Bible talks about sacrifice all the time. And he's the ultimate sacrifice for us. He sacrificed his life for us. And we, in turn, are sacrificing our lives for him. And I just absolutely love that song because it just reminds me of that every day.
I love that song. It is a powerful song. So we've been through the trials. We met Jesus. Jesus has taken us through places, and he's writing a story, and he's taking us to a journey. Where are you right now in your journey?
Right now, I'm in my journey where, the journey's always continuing, where I'm just trying to get closer to God. And, Jesus is the same. He remains the same. The Jesus that you met when you were saved and where you are now continues to be the same. Mm-hmm. But you don't continue to be the same. You change. You're always changing. The person you were when you met the Lord is not the person you are. Hopefully you are.
I know,
right? And I just continue. I'm just hoping to continue to grow into this person that he wants me to be. I've learned to let go and let God, and to just decrease who I am and my wants and my desires for his. Mm-hmm. And I say to myself every day, let the Lord's will be done. I hope I'm walking in the Lord's will, and I pray for his guidance every day. And I pray that I continue to do so and to be this who he wants me to be, and all for his glory.
I love it, and you and I both know that when we go through a trial, it's not for you only. There's someone who's supposed to be blessed through the trial in some kind of shape. What would you tell someone who's been through who's gone right now through a similar situation that you have been, where they have to forgive someone who hurt a loved one or themselves? What would you say?
I'd say to continue to trust in the Lord and put your faith in him, because he's never gonna steer you wrong. A lot of people feel like they can only depend on themselves because they don't have anyone around that they can depend on. There's a lot of disappointments in life, and you feel like you're gonna do it your way, right? Because if you do it your way, at least if it goes wrong, you just have yourself to blame and stuff like that. And I've just learned to put my trust in him completely, mm-hmm. and do things his way. You have a plan for your life. You think, this is how I want to do things. This is how it's going to go. And, you trust in yourself. But you shouldn't put your trust in yourself. You should put your trust in God. And even if he wants you to do something that you don't want to do, that you think, this is kind of crazy. This is not me. This is not me at all. I don't have the abilities. I don't have the knowledge. This is kind of crazy. He does it for you. If he wants you to be the one to speak in front of people to help others, and you're like, oh, I'm shy. I can't talk to other people. I don't have the voice. He gives you the voice. Right. He gives you everything that you need to accomplish that.
Like he did for Moses, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I just say, trust in him. Mm-hmm. He's never going to steer you wrong. It may not be, what you want to do, but know that he's not leading you down a path of destruction. It's all about creation, and it's all for your good. And you just trust in him no matter what, because even if it goes wrong to you, he has a plan. He sees far into the future, and it might not be going the way that you think it's going, but just trust that I'm walking in his will, even if it's bad right now.
Right.
it's going to be for His good, for His glory, and
And the rest is up to Him, right?
yeah,
Just submit, and the rest is up to Him.
yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you're a lawyer. I know that. You look up to people. People look up to you, and you look up to people. Who would you say inspire you?
I'd say my mother inspires me. You know, she's always been there for me. She's always stood by my side. She hasn't pressured me. She's supported me.
Mm-hmm.
She's been through a lot to raise me and my older brothers, and she just continues to inspire me every day. And she's in Florida right now, and I try my best to see her as often as I possibly can. I talk to her every single day, and she's just a wonderful person. She's just a wonderful person, and she just inspires me.
It's beautiful. I love it when the mother, someone close to you, is someone who inspires you. That means they are really living a good life or inspiring life. We're doing the Living Epistle part. What would you say a living epistle is in your own words?
Living Epistle is it's a someone's story, someone's life that they're living, that's unfinished, of course, and it's a story that's there to inspire other people, to help other people learn, and we're all epistles. You know, every day as we go about our lives, we're writing a story. There are characters. There's a plot. There's a theme. There's a purpose there, and there's an ultimate conclusion. And you know, it's all different, but the conclusion remains the same.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. So, you said it's a story. We all have a life of story, a story that God is writing with our lives. So, looking back from the beginning of your life, or from what you can remember, and to now, and actually what you can see in the future, what is the story that you feel God is writing with your life?
I think the story that God is writing in my life is that it's okay not to know.
Okay.
It's okay to accept the mystery, and you know, not have a plan, because He has the plan.
Okay.
It's okay to just let go and let God move you. And you know, I had a plan. I wanted to be this high corporate attorney. You know, I worked towards that goal. It's not working out that way.
Right.
You know, I feel Him moving me in another direction.
Okay.
And I think, you know, it's okay to accept that. And it's you know, you shouldn't be too, you know, hard set on a certain plan and do all you can to stay on that plan. You have to be able to go wherever God moves you,
Right.
no matter what. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much, Lulu, for being a living epistle. I am privileged that you are in my life, which is why this project is in place, because I have you guys, you and other friends in my life, who is letting God write a story with their lives. Thank you so much for being a living epistle.
Thank you.
Everyone, you've been watching the Living Epistle Project. The hope for this project is so that you can let God inspire you. God is writing a story with each one of His believers. If you accept the challenge, He will take you through to a journey that you cannot even understand and you could not have even imagined. I challenge you to accept God's challenge, to let Him write a story with your life. Until next time.
What's special